Hello everyone! Welcome to Papercrafting Playdate. My name is Robin Armbrecht at Really Robin Stamps, and I am so excited to be with you today. Let me grab the comments and make sure we're live and working. Hello everyone on YouTube. I see your comments. Yes, I believe we're live and streaming in two places. How about that? So today is February 17th, 2023. This is episode 82 of Papercrafting Playdate, and we are going to play with some tools today and some specialty paper, and we're going to make hopefully some very shiny, happy cards. So let me just take a moment to say hello to everyone before we start. Hi, Faye. Hi, Judy. Eileen and Wendy and Lynn and Jonna and Kathy. Hello. Nicole and Becky and Melanie. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with me. All right, so let me show you the table. So I have a bunch of cards to share with you. I love to showcase all of the beautiful work that you guys share with me. Your cards are amazing. And when I receive a card in the mail, I get super excited, don't you? So I hope that you like looking at everybody's work. This is from Sarah. She is a demonstrator fan, a friend, fan too, hopefully. And she did this amazing little angular stripped layout on the front and then put that beautiful happy teacup on the front. So nice. I love this layout. I really want to copy it, Sarah. Thank you so much. And hi, Suzanne from Denmark. Oh my goodness. Hey, Judy, Mary Ruth, Ureta, it's your card. So this is from Ureta, and she made me one of those corner squash fold cards. Gorgeous. Love it. Thank you so much. This is from my friend Jill, and she sent me this cute little bear from a paper pumpkin card. I'm so touched by what you wrote, Jill. Thank you so much. And here's a little koala bear cutie. This is from Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. Love it. And this is from Mona. Mona, thank you very much for your sweet words. Use those pretty frame florets, ovals. Oh my goodness. It is sunny here too, Narita. I'm glad it's sunny. Cold in Texas. What's it like in Denmark? That's what I would like to know. This is from Kathy. Isn't that a beautiful sympathy card? She's even got little pet paper. Very sweet. Thank you, Kathy. And this is from Karen. She made a barn door card with this great tree set and used that gorgeous paper for the scene in the background. It was very clever. I love it. Thank you, Karen. And we have this beautiful card from Tamara. Look at her embossing in the background. She must have sanded it a little bit because she took, looks like two colors. She might have inked in the background too, now that I'm looking at it. But it looks soft, like she might have sanded the top to just to kind of make it stand out even more. It's gorgeous. Thank you so much, Tamara. This card is from Susan. And she did a template card. I forget which number template this is, but it's so beautiful. Thank you, Susan, and your message. I really appreciate your message. Look at this gorgeous scenery card. Oh my goodness. This is also from Sarah. Beautiful. Just sets the tone, right? And it just looks so good. So Suzanne in Denmark says it's cold. Well, we're in the same boat then across the world. This is from Suzanne. And she used that great cat punch as well. Thank you, Suzanne. Or Susan, you'll have to correct me how I say your name. This is Pat. She made this little trifold card. This was also a paper pumpkin kit. Isn't that great? Window cards are so much fun. All right, this is from Stephanie. This is a stamp set that I didn't get, and now I'm worried it's going to be retiring. It's too late to get it for me. But I love the seashells. They look real. They just look real. And Stephanie lives in Florida, so this is a great stamp set when you live by the beach. This is from Sherry. Thank you so much. Look at that cute little kitty in the middle and the heart. And Purple, sending me her purple love. Thank you so much. This is from my friend Claudia. I gave her a little kit that way back when we did this other little template card, and she did such a great job on that. Thank you, Claudia. This is from Cheryl, and she made one of those K cards from the One Sheet Wonder that I did for Valentine's Day. Love these flowers, and look how that one's a little heart on the center. So cute. Thank you, Cheryl. And this is from Adela. She made me a cute little quick thank you note. So sweet. And I wanted to show you, this is from Jean. She sent me a Valentine's Day card, which I was going to make a video just on Valentine's Day cards that I received. But she sent me a picture to show that she used my One Sheet Wonder template to put her Valentine's Day cards together. Isn't that so pretty? She used some of the country floral design paper, but totally different ones than I did. And it just looks so great. And then the other thing that I loved is she had this little label put on this piece of paper. I know sometimes when you and I mail cards that have a little bit thicker embellishments on them or ribbon knots, we like to kind of protect the card or protect the embellishments from falling off by adding another extra layer over the card, like this, when you put it in the envelope to mail, right? Well, I thought this was kind of clever to put a label on it, because depending on who you send it to, if they're close to you or not, distance-wise, they might save these and give them back to you, and then you can recycle and use them again. But instead of just somebody saying, oh, I wonder why this extra piece of paper is in here, I like that you put that on the label. So, all right, such great ideas. Thank you so much to everyone who took the time to send me a card. All right, so let's get started, shall we? So the first thing that I want to show you, let me zoom in just a little bit, is what's free with the Hostess Code this month. And I'll just move that out of the way. So I'm offering a little toolkit in February, something a little bit different. And I love to just change it up all the time, offer things to people who spend $50 or more and use my Hostess Code. Then you just get to take advantage of the Hostess dollars that I earn through your order. I turn around, I purchase things and try to help you build your collection. So sometimes it's a card kit, sometimes it's a product like ribbon that was last month. Sometimes I just throw together some tools and things. So that this month is kind of like a tool kit is what I'm calling it, but you're going to also get some papers to try. And so for today's video, we are going to practice with one of these papers to give you some ideas to use with your paper when you get it. So these are specialty papers that I threw in this kit. We have the Pearlescent Specialty paper. We have the pre-cut vellum, printed vellum squares. That's not right, squares. I think they're called vellum basics, maybe. But 4 of the pieces are printed already, and then there's one plain. So there's some vellum to use on your card fronts, and then there's 2 pieces of shimmery white cardstock. And so I'm going to give you some ideas between this week and next week that you can use with these papers and with the tools. So the tools that you're going to get are a Stampin' Spritzer and a small blending brush. These are a new item. And then a finger dauber to play with and build your stash. All right, so we are going to talk about specialty paper. One more item of business, and then I promise we're going to get to the projects. So I don't know if you've seen the birthday card organizer kit. It is something that came out late summer or fall, and then it went right on to back order right away. Comes in this great little box, so it's a great gift that you could make for yourself or make for somebody else. And what it is a little spiral bound pocket folder, and you can keep track of who you need to make cards for in each month of the year. Once you make your cards, if you get them done ahead of time, you can just stick them right there to store them until you're ready to send them. So it's a great way to just keep track, right? These things are helpful for us, so we can just open to the next month and go, okay, it's March. Who do I need to make cards for? So this spiral bound notebook also comes with supplies to make 10 cards. And I'll show you the cards. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe it's 12 cards. I thought it was 10 cards. It's been a while since I put these together, and then of course they went on back order. But the basic card looks like something, I don't remember, maybe something like this, and something like this. I think these are the two basic cards. You get printed card bases and 2 different kinds, and then you get all the die cuts. It's a non-stamping kit, so you can just punch everything out. You've got these beautiful sequins to accent. All right, so what I did is I added some more supplies so that you could extend this kit and get it to make more cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think you make 16 with my little add-on kit. And so I have you cut apart the things. We make some fun folds with like a gift card holder. So we take the basics that come in the kit and add a little bit, and then create some fun folds and kind of expand on that. All right, so this is going to be a class kit at home that you can get. So if you are on my mailing list, you will get information about this kit and how you can join in this class if you want to. But that is that. So let's get busy with today's projects. All right, so I am going to take away that, and I'm going to stand up and show you this pearlescent paper. All right, so this paper comes 12 by 12. And you get 2 sheets for $4. So it has a very nice low price point as far as an item goes. And you don't have to use a whole lot. I'm going to use it for a lot of card fronts, but this is how it comes. You're going to get 2 card fronts to use. And let me just show you the color of it, because it's not white. There we go. So this is the pearlescent paper. And I know it's not going to show up well on camera today, but it is a plasticky kind of, has kind of the smooth surface like vellum, and feels like vellum. And that's what I mean by it being plasticky, but it's very shimmery and shiny. And the shimmery white also has a little bit of that plasticness in it. And it has a tiny bit of shimmer, which is almost impossible to see on camera. But it's a little bit lighter in tone than the pearlescent paper, which is kind of yellow. Here's very vanilla paper. So you can see that the pearlescent paper is definitely more of a vanilla than a white. Here's white, the basic white up against all of those. So even the shimmery white isn't a bright white. Okay, just to kind of give you a feeling for how the pearlescent paper is kind of tinted yellow. So one of the things you can do with this great paper is to emboss it. So that's the first thing that we're going to do. So I've cut this piece of paper to 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to take one of my favorite embossing folders, which is the Time Worn Type, and we're just going to emboss the whole piece. So this paper is so shimmery and shiny. When I play with it, sometimes I kind of like to just use it very simply like this, because it's so beautiful all on its own and very elegant looking. So the first card that I'm going to show you is really all about being elegant. All right, so let's put that over there for a second. So here is what happened with our embossing folder on that pearlescent paper. So beautiful, right? So I wanted to make a graduation card. Both of my sons have girlfriends who are both graduating with their master's degrees this spring. And so I kind of thought, well, this will be perfect to make some, beautiful, shiny graduation cards. And I wanted to use this bundle here. This is Sentimental Park from the mini catalog, and it has all these great greetings. And so you can pair these two fonts together. So you've got Thinking of You, Let's Celebrate Dear Friend, but then you can pair them together. So let's celebrate your graduation, your anniversary, your new adventure, your new baby. So thinking of your anniversary. So it's kind of neat how they go together. I don't have anything exactly like that. And I guess I didn't need to put the cut and emboss machine away just quite yet. Let's finish cutting out. So I'm going to make focal point on this beautiful pearlescent paper. And I'm going to layer using 2 of the pieces that come in the die set of this Sentimental Park bundle. So this is shimmery white paper. This is brushed gold. So we're just going to put all the beautiful shimmery, shiny things together to make a very special card. So let's cut that out. So even though this is shimmery white, it's going to show up nicely on this pearlescent paper because it's not as yellow as that. So this bundle, I have not done my homework on this bundle yet. Sue, if you're watching, I have not done my homework. And what I mean, I usually take the time to cut out all of these pieces so I really understand the how everything goes together, right? That's kind of important when you get something new. You got to play with it and figure out how all the pieces go together. So these are beautiful labels that are embellished already with flowers. And then there is a plain label that actually nests into this one, or you can use it by itself, or it goes larger than this one. So it has a lot of versatility here, plus all of the beautiful flowers. So we're going to just play with the label today and get to know that. But one of the interesting features of this label is that it has these flowers lift up here in the corner so that you can slip that plain medium-sized label right under the flowers, so they nest together perfectly. Has anybody played with this one yet? This bundle? There's a lot going on here with this bundle. There we go. Boy, if you have the time to sit and poke all this out, it's very satisfying, isn't it? Okay, so let's stamp first before we layer. This is shimmery white, so I can use my Memento ink on that. And we're going to put, let's celebrate your graduation. Thanks, Sue. Sue forgave me for not doing my homework. I appreciate it very, very much. All right, so there's let's celebrate. And we'll put your graduation. Okay, and now we can add that inside. So what I'm going to do ultimately with this card here is I'm going to put some extra special paper on here, and I'm just going to build it for you really quickly so you can see where we're heading. We're going to go like this. All right. And so I want to kind of bring the pinks that are in the card base and in this other specialty paper to the front, because I'm going to let this tag be pretty, plain. So I'm going to use my finger dauber here. So this is great. So the blending brushes are great for when you want to cover a big area, but the daubers I like to use when I just want to have the most control over my ink. And so you just literally put it on your finger, dab it into the ink pad, and then you can use it around the edge like this. This is a really nice way to get a very precise amount of ink or a sponged look on an edge. Like that. So we just have a little bit of an edge going on there. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Okay. You can also make perfect polka dots on a piece of paper with a sponge dauber, and that always makes a great background. Okay. I'm going to trim this. I thought I was going to do it the other way when I was planning this, which is silly. I liked this time-worn type embossing folder in the background for, well, I love it for everything because it looks kind of vintagey, it looks collage-like, and I thought it was appropriate for graduation too, with all the letters and the words on the background. So when you use pearlescent paper, because of that coating that is on the paper that gives it that shimmer, Sometimes you'll have to use the liquid glue even if you don't like it, because the Stamp and Seal will have a hard time catching. Now it does work. I've tried it other ways, but because of that coating on there, sometimes it's hard to use the other tape adhesives. I'm going to stick this right in the middle. So this specialty paper, if you don't recognize it, this is in the mini catalog in that Delicate Desert suite. And it comes in this beautiful pink Cajun Craze Sage Shadow color combo. Just a little piece of these go a long way. So that's what I'm going to add, just a little extra to the card. I should have glued it on first and run both of those together through the embossing folder, but I just thought of that right now. That's all right. Okay, so we're going to glue this on, even though it kind of tucks in there. We don't want it to fall off the card in the mail or whenever. Let's see, who has this bundle? Cheryl. She's only used these 2 dies so far. Okay, well, you did good homework on this card, Cheryl, or this set. You had all the pieces cut out at least. Your homework looked fabulous. Isn't that pretty? Just all by itself like that. I love it. So let's pop this up, and then all we're going to do is add some beautiful embellishments to finish it off. Stick that right in the middle. I love it. All right, so here are the embellishments that go with a different suite, but they look so nice with these papers. So page 31 is where this bundle is that I'm using right now. And see, I'm not doing anything with those colors. I'm just trying to think outside the suite there. And then these embellishments are actually from this suite right here on page 15. But they really go well with these colors. So I could use the pink ones. I could use the orange ones that are kind of a little bit darker. Oh my. That is a hard choice. I think I'm going to go with the lighter ones. And so we'll just kind of put the little centers on these flowers on a few of them to give them some more sparkle. Okay. All right, so this is one way to use that pearlescent paper and just emboss it with an embossing folder and just let that shimmer really shine off of the embossing. Okay, hope you like that. Boy, those little rhinestones are really pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it simple like that. And then, like I said, I have 2 graduations to attend this spring. So I did one in the other color, and I just made it slightly different. I put it on a very vanilla card base just to see how that looked. I love the elegance of that too. And there's those blue elements there. I don't know, I might like this little piece. I don't know. I like them both. I'm not going to pick. So you can use those embossing folders, you know, just plain. So here's an example of like a wedding card, just all monochromatic with the vanilla. I sponged with the dauber around this tag just a tiny little bit in the gray so that it would just set it apart from the embossing. Added a little bit of the metallic, whatever this ribbon's called, this little sheer ribbon and some rhinestones. So very simple. But if you want to step it up, of course, you can add a little color to the background. So you could take your sponge dauber, because you have a really light control, right? And you could just really lightly add color that way. You could also do the direct to paper technique. Let's see if I can do this. I need a piece of scratch paper here. So this is a new embossing folder. It's going to be something that is released next month. These three will come together. They're called Embossing Basics, and they have these nice tiny little patterns on them. So this is the kind of like a starfish or a flower pattern. So direct to paper is when you use the ink pad really lightly and drag it over your paper, and it creates some magic. Everything that it hits on top gets colored. All right, so that is something you can do with your embossed paper. Oh, now it's so much fun, I can't stop. Because this paper is coated, you will have to let this dry, okay? Because it's gonna take a while for the water-based ink to dry. So the ink will still move around on there for a while. I just blotted a little bit of it off. I'll show you with a tissue. You can get quite a bit of it off, but it will eventually get dry and stay dry unless it, you know, gets wet. Isn't that pretty? And of course now it's shiny too, so that's so exciting. So here are a couple examples of just adding a little bit extra to the embossing. So this is the fern folder, and very lightly I used the direct to paper with soft seafoam ink just to get a really, really light color. And then this is the Sweet Citrus hybrid folder. So I kept it in the background. I actually cut it out twice. This one is with the shimmery white cardstock with the citrus, and I pulled those out. Used the folder again with the pearlescent paper, and I just kept these, so I will use these on a different card. But I thought that turned out real pretty as well. And then this is one of the new folders with the direct to paper technique. I used the Tahitian Tide. I almost called it the old tempting turquoise name. And then put the little kitty on there. I just got to do a workshop this week at someone's house, and she had a new cat, and it was a beautiful black cat with green eyes. And so I thought, well, I absolutely have to make this as her thank you card. Isn't he cute sitting on that? All right, so that is one way to use pearlescent paper, is to do it and make an embossed background. So let's change it up and we'll do a second way. So we're going to need another piece the size of a card front, or the size slightly smaller than the card front. So I'm going to do 4 by 5 1/4. And this time we're going to use the blending brushes to add the color. So I'm going to bring the scratch paper back. And the colors I'm going to use are Balmy Blue and Daffodil Delight and Flirty Flamingo. And we'll just kind of make a early kind of sunset type of background. So let me show you the difference here in the size. So these are the small ones. This is what the regular blending brush looks like. So it's about half the size. So probably I would use a larger one. But you do have a lot of extra control with the smaller one. Now again, because this is coated paper, if I touch that right now, you're going to be able to see my fingerprint because that ink it doesn't soak in right away. So I'm going to try to be careful to keep my fingers out of it. So here's the blue. Now the nice thing about it not soaking in right away or taking time to dry is that you really have a lot of time to manipulate that color and make it really smooth. Like it's practically impossible to not get it smooth. Then we'll do yellow. I better wipe that finger off before I touch it on something important. This is Daffodil Delight. So if I want to go back over that line with the blue, then you see how those colors can just kind of go right together. You've got lots of time to work on that color. And then we'll take the Flirty Flamingo and do that down here. Anytime you use a blending brush and you do this on any kind of paper, it is so relaxing. It's just a nice little, it's like coloring. All right, so I've done one of these ahead of time and I used my heat tool to help dry, help it dry a little bit faster. But I wanted to make sure that it was dry. So now you can see I'm rubbing that with my finger and no ink is coming off. So this one has dried and we'll let this one dry for next time. And we'll put our ink pads away. So I'm going to use this coloring on there as a background, but we'll go ahead and do some stamping. So let's use our Dainty Delight stamp set with these beautiful wildflowers and actually stamp on the paper. So again, because this is plasticky paper, this memento is going to smear for a while. So you want to use Stays On. So I was kind of giving it a test. I stamped this about a half an hour ago with memento ink and I just like rubbed my finger on it and it's still smeared. So I would, to be safe, I didn't dry it like I did the background. So I would dry it or emboss it or just use the Stays On ink because that will absolutely dry on plastic. That's what it's designed for. This ink you can stamp on ceramic, wood, cloth, or anything plastic, glass. So let's put some flowers on that. That is pretty. And then I want to do this one too, because that kind of goes with it. It's so simple, right? Put that over there, and then we'll just put a little bit over there. It's kind of like we're looking at these through, or we're looking at the sky through our flowers. I really like this one. I'm going to do that one again over here. There we go. So we have our main flower and then some accent flowers. Now StazOn ink, this is a solvent ink pad. That's so you can use it on all those different surfaces, but you definitely want to get it off of your stamps as quickly as you can. And I just put this in my Stampin' Scrub with lots of water, and it came off immediately. If you are doing a project where you're stamping over and over in StazOn, you're going to have to use the StazOn cleaner on your stamp to get it off. And then you would just kind of add that onto your block. It's going to help take the ink off, and then you can wipe it in your Stampin' Scrub or in your chamois to get that solvent off. The other thing is that StazOn really isn't good on your photopolymer stamps, so you want to try to not use it on photopolymer if possible. Just use the cling mount where you have that red rubber is a little more durable than the photopolymer. Okay, I'm liking that. So I just have another little strip here of the plain shimmer, and we can put our greeting on that. Guess I put that away very too soon. So we're going to do thank you. All right, so those are our elements for our card. Very simple. So one of the things you can do when you use a water-based ink on this pearlescent cardstock is, you know, I had said if it gets wet, then you are going to watch that ink move. So let's use our spritzer tool. So I always have one of these filled with water sitting on my desk. Because you just never know when you're going to need water. Sometimes I use it to clean a stamp if I am too lazy to go get my Stampin' Scrub wet. If you get really hot, you know, you can spritz yourself too. You're working so hard, you're sweaty. But it's really designed to spritz on your paper. So I'm going to just do a couple spritzes on here. And check to see if I made it. Okay, and then I'm going to take a tissue and just blot that water off. And now we've got this kind of nice little vintagey look, right? You can see that. I like how that looks. Okay, so let's put this on a card. I'm going to take the balmy blue color and make that the card base. I would love to know what you are stamping right now, or what projects you know, Valentine's Day is over, so you're probably done with that. What are you working on? Okay, so we're going to add this greeting, and that is going to wrap up this simple little card. We'll pop it up. And then I liked that this little bit of gingham could possibly show underneath this. Oh yeah, I like that. So let's add this right to the front, and then we'll pop up that greeting. It's hard to cover up those flowers. And we'll just let a little bit of that gingham show. Like that. Linda just made a card with the carrot set. Oh, so cute. I did not get enough time with that. I'm gonna definitely be keeping that carrot set to use for spring cards. Lynn is making cards for the church ministry. Yay, me too, Lynn. Jonna's working on Easter cards. Good for you. You're always so good about that, getting that done early. Karen's working on spring and Easter cards too. All right, so I have a little bit of this balmy blue ombre ribbon from the mini catalog, and I tied it into a bow, and we'll just finish this card with a little bit of ribbon. This bow is huge. Let me see if I can make it a little smaller. And we'll add that to the front. I like it right down here. Sharon's making cards for the military families. Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, so there is that beautiful little card. It doesn't need anything else, right? I mean, really, I think that's the point of the pearlescent paper, is that it just is so beautiful and shiny and shimmery that you don't have to add a lot. But I did love how this one kind of clear color in the milky dots really kind of looked just like the pearlescent paper. So I thought I would add a couple of these to our card. And I'm just going to put them over here kind of opposite of the bow. All right, so there is a way to make a background with the blending brush, and then use the spritz tool to wipe it off. Now, let's say you don't have the pearlescent paper and you just want to use basic white paper. If you spritz it with water, it'll definitely leave a watermark as well. So you can use this type of technique for, you know, basic white cardstock as well. It just won't be shimmery, right? Oh, good. I'm glad you guys like that one. Thank you. So here is one I did with some warmer colors. And I used a different flower stamp set. You can see the water marks on there. So it was just a very simple idea. And then I wanted to show you what it looked like on basic white as well. Because I needed a sympathy card, and I really didn't feel like the entire sympathy card should be shimmery. I don't know. I just didn't think it matched the person that I needed to send this to. So I did something similar to this first card, but I did it on basic white and then I just colored in those flowers. But then on the greeting, this little strip here, I stamped the greeting on the pearlescent paper just to add a tiny bit of shimmer, but I wanted it to be less shimmery, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is the second thing you can do. Now I tried coloring on the pearlescent paper. So I stamped in Stays On, my little turtle. And then I went to use the blends and I forgot that that doesn't work because the blends are alcohol markers and the Stays On is an alcohol ink. And so it smears with Stampin' Blends. And so then I just used my regular Stampin' Write markers to color in. And because they are water-based, right, it took a while for him to dry. So I let him dry overnight and now it's dry. But the color is very subtle, and probably because this is kind of yellowish as well, the coloring looks yellow. But I thought he turned out kind of cute. Hello, Annette. Hi, Gwen. You're not late. You're not late. Yes, Jonna, if you are a demonstrator and you already have the organizer, there will be a price just for the card kit, the add-on kit, or the PDF. There'll probably be just a PDF version as well because you would have your own supplies as well. All right. The last thing I'm going to show you with pearlescent paper is another technique. So I made this little work tray. So this was actually my first package of pearlescent paper, and because it's a specialty paper, it comes with that nice piece of chipboard inside. And so I just kept that chipboard inside the plastic. And now I have this little work surface that I can clean off with a baby wipe or a tissue or whatever. Because this next one is a little bit messy. So this is a tried and true old technique called polished stone. And for this technique, you use alcohol and you use reinkers as your ink and you apply them with a cotton ball. Now, we used to carry glossy paper for several years, and this was a technique that worked with that paper as well. You can do it on basic white, but it doesn't move the color around. So you want to get the cotton ball half saturated with alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol. So this is 91%, but you can also do the 70%. And then you want to put some reinker, 2 to 3 colors, right where the alcohol is on the cotton ball. And you don't want to get the whole cotton ball saturated because you have to hold it. So then what you do is you're going to just bounce or rub it around on this pearlescent paper. And because of that coating, right, it's not going to soak in right away. And because of the alcohol, that's reacting with the water base in the ink. And so you get this great little designs, and they call it polished stone, right? Because it kind of looks like marble or something like that. Okay, so that's going to have to dry. So you'll have leftovers, right? So you can do several pieces at one time. You can actually swipe if you want to do something different like that. That's kind of cool. Let's see, let's just use this up, see if I can make some bigger. So I used Parakeet Party, Orchid Oasis, and the Tahitian Tide. Those were the colors that I used. So you definitely want to pick colors that go together or coordinate together. If you picked like a red and a green, then they might turn brown on your paper. Okay, so let's move this off of my little working surface here. And take a look at that. It's still drying a little bit where those heavy ink places are, but isn't that pretty? Gwen, that is a good question. I have tried this with photo paper before and I wasn't successful, but I know not all photo paper is the same. So I'm not sure what I had, if it was glossy enough or it was like matte photo paper. I'm not really sure. So I would just try it if you didn't care about accidentally wasting a piece of your precious photo paper, but I'm not positive on that. Sarah, you can do this on watercolor paper, but it's going to soak in immediately because that's the nature of watercolor paper. It draws all of the liquid in, where this is coated, so it stays on top of the paper and dries. And the alcohol is what makes it dry really fast. So like this is dry, and you can still see the shininess. So that's why this technique, polished stone, is really better on a glossy surface. So this one is on basic white. So you can see the colors didn't blend, but it looks okay, right? And I made it shimmery by going over it with a Wink of Stella pen when I was done. But you don't have time to really manipulate the colors, like from how I did from here to here and how I changed that. You don't really have time to do that with basic white or like watercolor. It's going to just like pull those colors in right away. So I thought let's make sure this is dry. So for this card, I wanted to just cut a little piece out of it with some words. There we go. We'll just help that to dry. I wanted to use this Amazing Thanks set that has the scripty thanks, and then it has the like the matte layer to go with it, which I already cut one out of Starry Sky. But I thought it would be fun to do the eclipse technique on top of our polished stone. So let me show you. So the eclipse technique is a whole nother video, but we're just going to do a little part of it here. I'll have to show more samples of that technique sometime. But basically you cut something out. Usually it's words, and then you pop them up and you put them back right where you cut them out of. So that's what we're going to do here. So I'm going to do the thanks right there. Make sure I have the small one. Yes. Okay. We'll just do a simple thank you card. Kathy says it works on vellum too. Yes, it would. I haven't tried that on vellum. Thank you. It has the same kind of qualities as it being kind of plasticky. All right, so here we have to save the inside pieces because those will have to go back in. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so here's our thanks. Cute. All right, let's put this on a card front. This is the hard part. I wasn't sure which one I wanted it to go on. I'm going to pick the blue. Jonna, what do you mean by heat tool? What's your question? Okay, so that's going to sit there. And then we'll glue our thanks onto the matte layer. Can you use the heat tool to dry the paper? Yeah, if you wanted to speed it up, you can, but because you're using the alcohol, it really dries pretty fast. But if you were in a big hurry, absolutely, you could use the heat tool on it. Okay, and then we pop this up. So we're gonna need our smaller dimensionals. I don't want that to show. And we'll just cut a couple of these in half for these ends here where it's a little bit smaller. Let's see if I got that. We don't want that to show. Okay, so let's take the backings off and then we'll put it right back into the card, and it's going to have that nice little matte layer, but it's going to give us the illusion of something. I don't really know what I'm trying to say, but because it matches the background, the tiny thanks looks like the background, so it's kind of like an optical illusion. Perfect. And then here's the little parts that came out, so we have to fit those back inside those holes. Has anybody done this technique before? Just love in stamping how techniques cycle through, and there's just never boredom with this hobby. I swear, you could just keep redoing things over and over. Oh, I see, I should have done that first. Now it's like an operation game. I'm gonna just slide that in there. Maybe. It's going to be easier for me to pop this back up and slide it underneath. really glad this isn't like Operation. It's not buzzing at me. I did not enjoy that game. All right, so it would have been better to put these down before I put that other thing back in there, but it's all working out here. And then here's the last little part of that K. Stick that under there. Like that. All right, I'm going to add a couple more little dimensionals, but let's just get the full effect here. So we've got kind of that optical illusion is what you get with that technique. All right, so let's take our stripy paper here and we'll make some coordinating flowers. So we'll have the same kind of colors going on, but different designs. So it'll be a little bit different. Like that. This pearlescent paper is very, it's thinner compared to our regular cardstock. So it has a lot of bend to it. So I'm just going to curl up those leaves with my bone folder. Petals, not leaves. Just, you know, if I mail it, obviously they'll get flattened, but they'll still kind of have that little bit of a curve on the petal. Okay, so there we've got the flowers on there, and let's give them a center. Trying to decide between these two here. They both catch the light of the blue or the pink or whatever. These are great adhesives. Let's try these. These are the flat-backed pearls. Okay, so there's our finished simple card. Polished stone technique on the pearlescent paper. So this piece right here, again, you could cut up and use as a background, but if you wanted to go ahead and stamp on it now with something bold, like words, you could use your StazOn and stamp right on top of that beautiful background, which is what I'll probably do. I'll show you another color combination here. This one doesn't want to sit. There we go. So here is the purples. So this is the same orchid color, but with the polished pink and the turquoise. So it has all these beautiful purplies in it. This is stamped with the StazOn. And then this one is actually not the polished stone technique, but I played around with using our Stampin' Blends. And so I took the Stampin' Blend marker and I just colored onto the pearlescent cardstock. I'll show you. So remember, these are alcohol based too, so they are going to dry on there. So I just kind of played with that like this. And then I actually used alcohol in one of my spritzers. So I have another one on my desk that's just for rubbing alcohol. And when you spritz your Stampin' Blends with alcohol, you can put quite a bit on there. And then you can take a brush. I actually just used my finger and I kind of just blended those colors together like that, let it dry. And that's how I got that kind of nighttime sky. So this is going to bend here until that alcohol dries, and then I stamped over it with StazOn. Okay, so you can play around a lot. Now this one, I did a similar technique. So the flowers and the thanks are with the polished stone, but this background, I didn't use these colors, but I used the Stampin' Right markers, and then I spritzed it with alcohol just to see how that would work, and that really kind of works too. So you can really just kind of play around, right? You just play around with what you got and see what you like that works. But I always keep one of these with the rubbing alcohol, always keep one with water, and look at all the things you can do. So let me get this out of the way. Boy, I didn't think I was going to love this color combo as much as the purple, but I really like it a lot. I think it turned out great. What do you guys think? What do you think? So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Nope. Out. There we go. And we'll bring our cards back. And let's just review what we did, because I kind of threw a lot at you. But this is going to help you get started if you take advantage and grab that kit this month that I'm giving away, or if you already have these supplies at home, you can literally just run over to your stamp space and get started. So we did the polished stone technique, fiddled around with spritzing alcohol and water on different kinds of markers. I showed you that you can color in. We blended regular classic dye-based inks, water-based dye ink. We blended those onto pearlescent paper, and then we spritzed some water and made those beautiful watermarks. And then we used those gorgeous embossing folders and just made some very elegant dry embossed cards. Do you guys have a favorite? What's the technique you're going to try first? Do you have a favorite? Let's see. Purple is my favorite. Good. I am so glad that this technique looks like fun and that you are going to maybe give it a try. I hope that you sure do. And like I said, you don't have pearlescent paper yet. Try it on your basic white paper just to kind of practice with making backgrounds, with blending colors, to do that direct to paper technique. Like I showed you on the one card where you can just slide your ink pad. There's lots of different things you can do with backgrounds. It's so much fun. So thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate every minute that you spend with me, and leave me a comment, continue the conversation about pearlescent paper and making backgrounds,